From America's heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa.
Yeah, this Gary Russen program. We've got a great show lined up for you, so you'll tune in for the show. We'll talk about Donald Trump and his stuff going on. We're going to talk about that. Also coming up on this show, we have a whole lot of other good stuff lined up for you. We're going to talk about all the stuff going on in the news. So stay with me. The Gary Russen program is coming right up next on GJRB. GJRB News. I'm Gary J. Russen. The United States plan to carry out the test on its THAAD missiles defense system is against an intermediate-range ballistic missile in the coming days. Two U.S. officials told Reuters on Friday as tensions from North Korea climb. Despite being the months ago, U.S. missiles defense test will gain significance in the wake of North Korea's launch on the intercontinental ballistic missile back on the 4th of July, heightening the terms and the threat on Pyongyang. The test is the first of a terminal high-altitude area defiance, or THAAD, the defense against the stimulated attack by intermediate-range ballistic missiles. One of them said that THAAD interceptors will be fired from Alaska. The United States THAAD interceptors in Guam was met with high guard against a missile attack from a country such as North Korea. And in other news this afternoon, we have a story reported that that the U.S. plans on this thing, but the former Marine Corps general in his comments reported during the surprise briefing at the Pentagon, saying that the capability in itself brings closer to war. He says that the July 3rd launch of that missile, Hwasong 14 missile, appeared to be Chinese-made. The president made very clear that the Secretary of State's clear, and we are leading into a diplomatic, economic efforts. News when you need it. At the bottom of the top of the clock. I'm Gary J. Russen. This is GJRB News.
Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
It was the year World War II ended, and the troops came home, and the music was fabulous, with big hits from Perry Como, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. The year was 1945. Listen to the year in music on the next Swing Time. I'm Gary Russen, and I'll be featuring the biggest hits from that year, along with trivial information about the prices of items such as groceries, the news events, the culture of 1945 on the next Swing Time. And the big question is, if you have friends that are sending you a message on Facebook, on a so-called fake message, it's like a fake message saying that you should not be friends with a man named Jaden K. Smith because he's a hacker. According to a report, this is a fake message. They're warning, they're urging users to avoid the thing. They said they are started a number of times. Such warnings make little sense and it cannot be hacked. Just accepting a friend's request, and if for such warnings were true, they wouldn't Facebook remove them. They say that this whole thing appears to be a string of fake hacker warnings, and they're not valid. Such warnings are popular on social media. Those warn of infectious hacker could compromise your security, and they say just ignore these postings because they are not real. I'll be talking about that coming up next here on the Gary Russen program because I got some of those warnings myself. I got a couple of postings on messages from friends who had posted that. And apparently, if you are getting those, just ignore those because apparently they are not real. Coming up, we'll talk about that next on the Gary Russen program. Next news at the bottom of the clock. And I'm Gary J. Russen. News when you need it during the day on GJRB's News Talk Radio. I'm Gary J. Russen.
Is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
Next news at the bottom of the hour. Get Brooklyn's praised, you're recovered and informed.
Now it's time for the Gary Russen program, discussing what's in the news, sports, and other things happening in the world. And now you can talk to Gary live at area code 563-613-4260. This is the Speaking the Truth on Internet Radio.
This is GJRB's original News Talk program.
This is the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
Yeah, you know it. That's right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere across America and around the world. Welcome to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. Yeah, we haven't been on the air for a while. It's been since June 12th. Almost a month. About 2 days short of a month since we've had our last Gary Russen program. Yeah, that's right. Don't know what happened there, but it's like we haven't been on the air for quite a while. So the station's been on the air, and I've been having various other programs, but not the Gary Russen program. So I think it's time to get back on track and get this program on more often. Well, that's what we're going to do. Because I plan on having more Gary Russen programs. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple more planned in this month, including Way Out There. I was going to do 2 of those shows this month, but I don't have time to really get enough material for 2 shows, so I'm doing only 1 Gary Russen program. That last one, Gary Russen program, Way Out There, that last program got canceled, but I just moved it over a month is all I did. And it's kind of stories that really can't be used on all shows. It's just I decided that I would like to just put this program on the air at its regular time slot, but I will be having more Way Out There's in a month too as well. And the Gary Russen program, I've got a video version of this program coming up on the 24th, tentatively scheduled the 24th, July 24th on Spreaker, not on Spreaker, so don't, if you look at us for it there, us there, we will not be there, okay? We're going to be on the YouTube live stream Gary Russen program. I've got a lot of great videos to show you on that program, and I have that some of the stuff I had promised you when we were going to bring that video version of our show back. One of them was that one about that I talked about on a past Way Out There show about that strange thing in the sky that scared some people in Europe. It's kind of a I don't know what it was. And a strange-looking UFO kind of thing I'm going to show you, too. And we're going to do a video version of Way Out. Remember when we combined Way Out There with the Gary Russen program? The Gary Russen Way Out There show? We're going to do that one again, too. I've got plans on doing that on the GJRB TV YouTube channel. So if you want to see those shows, subscribe today to the GJRB TV YouTube channel, and you can watch them. It's fun. It really is. It's what can I say? It's just we do a lot of fun videos, and I show some videos. And if you call the program, you'll see yourself, because I'll probably be showing that on screen. And so if you're a Skype caller, as a matter of fact, I didn't get into Skype lately, but we'll do that later. Skype doesn't always work for me sometimes. I just don't. If you are a follower of me on Facebook, on Twitter, or Facebook, you can contact me on Messenger, live on, and I'll put you on the air. Okay? But if you are going to be calling the video version of this program on the 24th, you'll see yourself, because they're going to have it on the air that way. So that'd be pretty cool, won't it? All right. But anyway, got that coming up. I got some more Gary Russen programs, and our new sporadic schedule seems to be working real good. I want to remind you that I am not, as I've told you many times before in our music shows and everything, and I've said it, that the Gary Russen program and all the other GJRB programs are not going to be announced way ahead of time for a while. I'm kind of getting a break from that because, quite frankly, I can't promote programs ahead and constantly cancel them. So, I mean, look what happened to Way Out There a couple of times. Look at a couple of the Gary Russen programs. It's just not working. I cannot cancel programs consistently like that and expect listeners. So I am going to be changing that very shortly, and decided that I changed it. I am not going to promote programs in advance anymore. So I decided you never know when you're going to hear GJRB. I've got programs scheduled, and where we're going to be on the air, not live, but automated programming, repeats of some of the recent shows that we've had on. So it's going to be kind of like the best of GJRB, which is going to be what it's called. And we're going to have programs on the air, and I'm going to repeat some of the shows. Now, what I do is I delete some of the shows off the Spreaker public site, all the podcasts that maybe have been heard or not heard, and I delete them off. Those podcasts then will be rebroadcast. So any of the podcasts that get deleted will get rebroadcast. Okay, so I have a schedule plan for that, and I'm working on it. So, glad you could be aboard with me, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. I'm back. Glad to be back on the air. I'm always glad to be back on the air. It's always fun doing this program, and I love doing this. So we're going to have a great time this afternoon. Got some interesting things to talk about. Whether Donald Trump, is he in trouble or what? And a recent story, his son, was that Trump Jr., whatever they call him, Trump. And anyway, John Jr., right? Anyway, apparently, I guess he met with lawyers who are connected with the Russians, okay? And apparently, I guess, last summer. And, he's, I guess, they say he's changing his wording, he's changing whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. He's changing his wording around. How trustworthy is this, young man? So, his oldest son. And you have to wonder what's going on there. Now, Russia's denying that they invaded in our elections. But, you have to wonder what's going on here. If John Jr. met with lawyers connected with Russia, what was that about? Because his father didn't even know about it. He didn't even know about it. He didn't even attend. He wasn't even present there. So I just kind of wonder what's happening with that. You have to figure out what's up there. I mean, what's he planning here? What's going on? I don't know. It's interesting. the whole thing was this with this Russian thing has been really interesting. All around from the very beginning. They've been saying all along that. Well, see, it had to do also, I think, with the dirty dealings going on with. And I think I know why he did it. And I really think because they were investigating, Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton's dirty, her email scam. So you have to wonder all that, Crooked people in government, and this is what we have to put up with, right? It's just crazy. And it's really terrible when you have to deal with these crazy people. They're just, this is just getting crazy. I mean, what's happening here? What's the jig here? You have to wonder. So if you want to talk about it with me, we're going to talk about it today. We'll get into that. And also, North Korea has been concerning. I have a news headline that says that Kim Jong-un stated that this whole exercise, because America exercises, we had tested a THAAD missile, and Kim Jong-un says this is provocative. This is provoking something. Inside of a nuclear war. And of course, oh brother, I wonder if this is going to be a serious matter here. What's going to happen here now? If we have this going on, what's concerning about nuclear war there with North Korea? Kim Jong-un's not too happy with what's going on with that. So we'll talk about that coming up. And, of course, we'll do a scroll through social media. That's always fun. As you know, this is a news talk program, the Gary Russen program. I kind of changed the format of this program based on all the years I used to watch Fox News and other, cable news programs, and just, doing live news headlines, kind of like, Shepard Smith. He has a kind of a neat show. And, news breaks on his program. He's right there. And so I thought, I could do the Gary Russen program like that. Right off the bat, just follow news as it's coming in. Always constantly doing news throughout the show, unless I get a call. Which, I don't know whether or not I did that, but I get calls for warranties on my vehicle. But this is what I do, and it's a fun part of the show. So I hope you'll stick around this afternoon. The Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. We have some weather in the news. That's one of my favorite features. We do weather in the news and weather on the fives and all that. Weather on the fives, of course, on the Gary Russen program is 25 and 55 minutes past the hour. Every hour on GJRB. And of course, the news on the hour, we used to call it True News, and sometimes you still hear the promos. I changed the name. It's just GJRB News because in respects to one of my news sources, and that's True News. So I decided to change the name back to GJRB News, which sounds a lot better. Okay? All right, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back, and we'll do weather in the news. I got some interesting story about how they say snow in the mountains there in like Lake Tahoe in that area, and I've been there, saying that the melting is causing earthquakes. We'll talk about that coming up and a whole lot more. So I hope you'll stay with me. We got a fun show coming up. And, whoops, that was the wrong button. I need to go down further. Okay, here we go. It was down here this break. Here we go. And so a lot more, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Gary Russen program coming up.
a new emerging artist and want your songs out there, the place to go is Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation, a website purely devoted to new music from new artists from every town and every state in the U.S. If you're a solo artist and recording your own music, it's Reverb Nation. Stop on by, visit, listen to the music, check out the site, www.reverbnation.com. Put your music out there and gain an audience. Go to Reverb Nation for the best in new music. And remember, if you like your songs played on GJRB Online's Up and Coming, drop me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com. And I'll be playing your song on all GJRB online shows. Remember the name, Reverb Nation.
Watch. Pray. For you not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy. New World Order. Terrorism. Economic collapse. Wars. Pandemics. Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. With a lot of chaos happening, keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Oh, yes. Welcome back to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And I'm glad you could be with me today. So I thought it's kind of, it's kind of breezy outside, so I'll throw this on. A little George Benson to get us back in there. Breezing. I like this piece anyway. It's great. Yeah. Okay. And I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome back to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. On social sites, wherever you may find us. It's just that simple. It's just real easy. And time now to take a look at this and take a look at weather in the news. We got some interesting stuff on that. Weather in the news. A story that I think was kind of fascinating, actually. I never realized this, but according to a story, and I read this fascinated me. I had no idea. This is from a weather channel. They're saying in the Sierra Nevadas there's snow melt that could trigger earthquakes. Who would have thought that? But anyway, snow melt could trigger earthquakes. They're saying that earthquakes have been rattling for the past week, and researchers are saying that it's triggered by snow melts surrounding mountain ranges. Reports showing that more than 36 minor quakes shook Lake Tahoe about a week ago, I guess. Or it was printed. This was written June 29th, so it had to be like about the end of June. I don't know if it's still happening. I've been in this area, so I know Truckee in that area. Fabulous, beautiful area. They say many earthquakes that shook in that area that past Tuesday, which June 29th. And according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the largest measured quake of 4.0 was reported about 11 miles away in Truckee. So there was a minor quake in Truckee. Preliminary reports show that at least 28 minor aftershocks in that area, ranging from 0.6 to 3.2. So that's, you have to wonder about it. They're saying they're more frequent in the region at that time, because you remember a while back they had a freak spring winter storm up there in Lake Tahoe. I remember doing a show on that, and apparently, I guess they're saying that you know, I guess that would make sense. You know, I'm not sure how, but they say that could be that the earthquakes could be caused by snowmelt. Kind of interesting thought. Never really would have thought about that, but yeah, I guess so. Wow, interesting. All right, you got the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. I can talk about that this afternoon. That's an interesting topic. All right, now let's do weather on the 5s right now. And looking at the weather on the 5s, we have some more of that heat in the southwest. A few days, there's still red flag warnings out in place. Temperatures in the near 110. I've seen 120 reported this past weekend, around about 110. 119 in Lake Tahoe. No, I like Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona, you guys had it. Albuquerque, New Mexico, you were in the 3 digits. And you've just been like in extreme heat. There's a low pressure system now over the north. And we were getting some really good rain last night. Oh, brother, was it getting a lot of rain. I slept through it, apparently. But, wow. Well, we'll be taking a look at that. But weather on the 5s and 25 and 55 past. We'll do your weather next hour.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russen program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russen program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Hey, alright, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
And you're listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. We're going to be right back with more of the Gary Russen program. Coming up in the next half hour, we got some more great conversation and your chance to get on the program if you want to be part of it. And we're going to do that. So stay with me. And we'll open up the lines and get your conversation. If you're any of those people on social media and got that message, give me a call. We'll talk about that. All coming up next here on the Gary Russen program, right here on GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. Glad you could be with me, and glad you could be talking with me this afternoon. We got some great conversation on the way, so stay here. The Gary Russen program on GJR Online, and This is where it happens all the time here at GJRB Online on Spreaker. Right now, let's take a look at some of the stories we're covering for you in the GJRB News Desk. The United States plans to carry out new tests on the THAAD missile defiance system against the intermediate-range ballistic missile in the coming days. U.S. officials told Reuters on Monday its tensions with North Korea are climbing. And a story about a string of messages people are getting on their personal message on Facebook. We're going to talk about that throughout the afternoon as well. And more news coming up later today. And so keep it here on Talk FM 108 KGRZ LP low-powered signal at 107.9. And here on Spreaker across America on GJRB Online. This is the Gary Russen program. And this is a return of the Gary Russen program. We haven't had it on for a while. So, that's how that goes. And we'll be returning to the air with more of the Gary Russen program in just a little bit here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Glad you could be with me today for some great radio talk. The Gary Russen program on GJRB.
The best stations for talk, news, and sports. Talk FM 108.
I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I'd build secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I did the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
If you're a new emerging artist and want your songs out there, the place to go is Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation was ideally devoted to new music from new artists from every town and every state in the U.S. If you're a solo artist and recording your own music, it's Reverb Nation. Stop on by, visit, listen to the music, check out the site, www.reverbnation.com. Put your music out there and gain an audience. Go to Reverb Nation for the best in new music. And remember, if you like your songs played on GJRB Online is up and coming, drop me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com. And I'll be playing your song on all GJRB Online shows. Remember the name, Reverb Nation.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
It was the year World War II ended, and
welcome back to the Gary Russen program on GJRB online on Spreaker across America. Glad to be with you today. It's our Monday edition of the Gary Russen program, our first of the new week, I should say the new season. Because we haven't been on for a while. We've been kind of dormant on this program. So, I guess I have to say, glad to be aboard. We got some more good stuff coming your way here on the Gary Russen program on GJRB online on Spreaker. So we're going to get started and talk at you here. And so you can be part of the program, All you got to do is just get in on and act. Yeah. Just give me a call at area code 563-613-4260. Or you can just
Ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a check.
And talk to me there, or if you are a follower of me on Facebook or Google Plus or Facebook, especially Facebook, in the Messenger part, all you got to do is just get in there. And if you are a follower of me, you can you'll have me on the list, and you could just contact me and go on the air with me that way. It's a lot easier. We've already had one person do that, and that was our good friend out of Oregon. She did that, and it was kind of a fun thing. So I thought, well, why not? So anyway, that's what we do here, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And speaking of that message, I was talking about that earlier in the news. There's a message going on around Facebook, and I received one of these, and it's a message stating that it's a Facebook message stating that tell all contacts on your messenger list not to accept a guy named Jaden K. Smith friendship request. He's a hacker and has a system connected to your Facebook account. If one of your contacts accepts you, you will also be hacked to make sure all your friends know. Thanks, forwarded is received. Well, a lot of people are getting this message, and it is a fake message. As a matter of fact, nothing is private as the Facebook Messenger anyway. I mean, there's no reason in God's green earth that you're going to contact you. I mean, really, you'd have to be, wouldn't have to be on your page. My friend posted kind of information. I'll have to find that story. But anyway, it's input because I'm ignoring that. I ignored that message when I first saw it, and I've got one on there. I've got someone send me it, and I quite frankly avoided it because like I said, it's all fake. They've been around Facebook, I guess, for some time before Facebook, affecting users now. Defunct systems, MSN Messenger, where users would pass on warnings of phantom messengers. Hackers tried to add themselves into your contact list, and such warnings were equally and especially more than their recent counterparts. Anyway, last week the date of this article is another fake hacker warning. There's another one on here spread. A hacker called Anwar Jatu, to pronounce it. So you gotta wonder if these are like made up names anyway. Current warning of append exactly the same, only that the name of the alleged perpetrator changed. And likely that many of these warnings start as jokes, but they take a life of their own in users' take them seriously. So if you're listening, and I know some of you who follow me on Facebook and who listen to this program, I would suggest, if you're listening to this broadcast, that you kind of don't take this seriously, folks, because I really think that this is a fraud, a joke, whatever you want to call it. It's not real. Okay? So I would suggest that you do not, and if anybody sends you this, don't even act on it. Because this is just not a real hacker. Jaden K. Smith, just, when you really look at it, Jaden K. Smith, it sounds like a made-up name. There probably is somebody out there named Jaden K. Smith. I'm not saying there isn't, but this sounds like, from the very beginning, a joke. It was, like I said, I get these kind of crazy messages, and I ignore them because it's not valid. There's no validity to them. It's some kind of joke they put on, okay? So I would suggest that if you're going to, really, I don't know. I have to say this is just a joke. It's nothing to, really. I just don't think it's real. So please, if you get these messages, ignore them because they're not real. Coming up, I'm going to talk about something else that is very interesting. As a matter of fact, I think that I'm going to talk about it a little later on here after the break. And it talks about the fidget spinners. Now, I don't know if any of you have kids who play with those or not. A story about some of those spinners could be dangerous. It was known that I think some kids have swallowed them or swallowed a piece of them, and they had to be rushed to the hospital. So if you are one of those that have used or have a toy like that, I think it's only should only be given to an older child who won't do stuff like that, because babies do stick things in their mouth. And this thing, we're going to talk about it later. Fidget spinners. If you have one, the other kid who has one, it's not good to give it to any child who's maybe younger than maybe 8 years old, maybe 10, who really wouldn't be putting things in their mouth. So we're going to talk about that coming up in the next break. It's a very interesting story, so I want to get into that. And we'll talk about other stuff too, so I hope you'll stay with me. The Gary Russen program. Glad you could be aboard with me today here on GJRB online, here on Spreaker, across America and around the world. Happy to be joining you. Glad to have the fun of doing this program again, being on the air. We're going to be on more often in the month of July here on GJRB online, okay? Be right back.
It was the year World War II ended, and the troops came home. The music was fabulous, with big hits from Perry Como, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. The year was 1945. Listen to the year in music on the next Swing Time. I'm Gary Russen, and I'll be featuring the biggest hits from that year, along with trivial information about the prices of items such as groceries, the news events, the culture of 1945 on the next Swing Time.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Hey, alright, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what